Hi, this is Richard from Inclusive Driving, and this video is the secret guide to national speed limit. In this video, we will look at the history of national speed limit, why national speed limit is a useful concept, how to recognise speed limits and national speed limit zones, and what does national speed limit mean to me. Back in the olden days, when cars were not very powerful, we had two speed limits, 30 miles per hour in built-up areas and unrestricted in rural areas. Unrestricted really did mean as fast as you want, and this was okay because motor vehicles of the time simply were not powerful enough to go ridiculously fast. Even before that time, we had red flag legislation for so-called self-propelled vehicles, which again provided for two speed limits, 2 miles per hour in towns and 4 miles per hour in rural areas. The notion that somebody was required to walk 60 yards in front of the vehicle carrying a red flag is usually misunderstood. The flag was not required because the vehicle was considered dangerously fast. It was a combination of their width, meaning that somebody on foot needed to be available to organise the chaos that would occur if the vehicle met a horse-drawn vehicle on a narrow road, and also a bit of painfully pointless legislation lobbied for by the companies that ran horse-drawn stagecoaches and the railways that wanted to keep cars off the road. As urban areas started to sprawl out into rural areas, the distinction between built-up and rural became less obvious, and the law was altered to define a built-up area as a place with street lighting and a rural area as a place with unlit roads. As motor vehicles became more powerful, having an unrestricted speed limit became risky, and so a cap was placed on it. And this leads us to the modern day notion of national speed limit, 30 miles per hour where there is street lighting and faster in unlit areas. How fast is faster? Well, this depends on the road type and the vehicle you are driving. We'll discuss that shortly. But for now, let's just be satisfied that if the government ever wanted to change the actual value of national speed limit, it wouldn't need to replace millions of road signs. It would just require a change to the wording in the highway code. This actually happened in 2015, when the speed limit for heavy goods vehicles was increased from 40 miles per hour to 50 miles per hour on single carriageways and from 50 to 60 on dual carriageways, and there was no need to swap a whole load of road signs. So here's the next point. Since national speed limit varies according to the type of road and the type of vehicle, and even whether or not you're towing a trailer, to cover all of the combinations every time the speed limit changed, there would be a need for a separate sign for cars towing trailers, buses under 12 metres in length, buses over 12 metres in length, vans under 7.5 tonnes and lorries over 7.5 tonnes. That would require 6 times as many signs compared to a single sign that simply said, "It's national speed limit, you know what you're driving, work it out for yourself." Unfortunately, many, I'd say the majority of van drivers don't realise that they are subject to a lower speed limit. And remember, when you pass your driving test, you can drive a van up to 3.5 tonnes, so you need to know the relevant national speed limit. Here's the rule. If you see a speed limit sign and you're driving a car, then it's easy. That's the fastest you are allowed to go. You can have speed limit signs for 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60, and you do occasionally see 70. If you are driving a vehicle which has a lower national speed limit for that type of vehicle, then you still need to stick to the posted speed limit or the maximum permitted speed for your vehicle, whichever is lower. Those lower vehicle limits will be discussed shortly. If the speed limit is 40 or 50, then there will always be signs, and by law there must be reminder signs every so often. If the speed limit is 20, then there must be a sign, but you won't necessarily see reminders, especially in areas of outstanding natural beauty or tourist hotspots. If you don't see a sign, then you've got to assume national speed limit and work out if you are in a built-up street-lit area or a rural unlit area. Then you've got to work out if you're on a single carriageway or a dual carriageway. Check my other videos to learn the differences. And finally, you've got to think about what vehicle you are driving. Here's a summary for all vehicles, but we will just discuss cars, vans and cars with trailers. For a car, if there are no signs but there are street lights indicating a built-up area, then the speed limit is 30. Without street lighting, indicating a rural area, or if the road is specifically signposted with the national speed limit sign, the white circle with the black stripe, then it's 60 on a single carriageway and 70 on a dual carriageway. Remember, a dual carriageway is nothing to do with how many lanes there are, it's to do with there being a physical separation between you and the oncoming traffic. On a motorway, unless it's a smart motorway with a lower signposted limit, the speed limit is 70. If you are towing a trailer, then your vehicle combination has a lower national speed limit of 30 in built-up areas, 50 on a single carriageway and 60 on a dual carriageway. All vehicles with a trailer are also restricted to 60 on a motorway and are prohibited from using the right-hand lane. It's similar if you're driving a van, or more properly known as a light goods vehicle. Your limits are 30, 50 for a single carriageway and 60 for a dual carriageway. In a van, you can do 70 on a motorway and you can use the right-hand lane. There are slightly different limits in Scotland for single and dual carriageways, but that's only if you're a lorry driver. So that's it for now, and I'll see you again on another video very soon.